Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Free to Grow. Thanks for tuning in for this week's episode. I was going back through our footage that I had taken this summer in between being pregnant and giving birth to our first child. And to be honest, I was overwhelmed with how much we got done this season, this growing season. With me being in the third trimester and it being our first baby, I can't believe we got the garden planted and we've had so much abundance. And I planted flowers to harvest and have in the house for the first time ever. There was just a lot of joy and abundance this summer. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this into a video and just share what it's been like on our homestead journey and how we fell in love with homesteading. It was really in 2020 that I think, just kind of started watching more YouTube channels of people that were growing their own food, vegetables and meat. And I had grown up having a veggie garden. Rob, I think maybe, a small veggie garden, an herb garden, and neither one of us had ever raised any animals, but we found ourselves watching hours and hours of homesteaders' channels on YouTube and just being really inspired. And that's how we started. It started out of wanting to be able to provide more food for ourselves with everything that was going on in 2020. And it really blossomed into something that we never imagined. And we just, every year, I feel like we add more things. And, we're going from buying veggie starts at your local greenhouse to saving seeds and then growing your own starts the next year, just things like that. There's always a step further that you can go, and we have been on that journey for the last 4 years, and it's only gotten better. We've only wanted to do more, and it has made us happier. And I do want to say that it's not for everybody. There's pros and cons to this lifestyle, just like anything else. It's seasonal, so you're going to have a really busy season where you're not going to be able to get a whole lot done, which is why I was so surprised that we had such a successful, abundant year this year with being pregnant with our first child. But as you can see here, we still did a batch of Cornish cross this spring, and I told Rob that they needed to be done, I think a few weeks before, my due date. Like, he was wondering if we could do them and when, and we talked it through, and I said, yeah, let's do it, but let's do it like this. So what we actually did, because we were late deciding that we were going to do a batch of meat birds, was we just kept our eye out at our local TSC, and we ended up getting a couple of batches there, I think around I think it was Easter. A lot of places put whatever livestock they have in the store on sale on weekends like that where they're going to be closed one day and they don't want to pay an employee to come in and take care of the animals that they have. So we got some birds on sale instead of putting an order in with a hatchery. And that has worked out for us a couple of times. Last year we did make orders, but this year we just kept an eye out at our local stores, and you can get them on sale, I guess, is another reason that we did that instead of paying full price and having an order on a certain date. We were flexible and we made it work. And then we also found some hens that way too at a local pet store, I think it was. And they ended up being from Murray McMurray Hatchery, which is where we would have ordered from anyways. And so we raised about a dozen new hens this year as well to make sure that we have eggs through the winter. And Rob's putting up the Premier One fencing here. We do put this up around the meat birds and the hens because we've had trouble in the past with predators getting their arms under the chicken tractor, which I think was a raccoon, and did kill a couple meat birds last year when we didn't have an extra energizer here for the fence. So they got to the meat birds just because there was no fencing around them. And once we went ahead and put some around them, we figured out a way to get energy to a fence in the front yard, I think is what we had to do. That issue went away. So anyways, like I said, it was just beautiful to be going through this footage, so I thought I would share with you guys just that we had never had any experience doing any of this stuff, and we were so inspired by other families on YouTube to just dive in and just try it. And yes, it's a commitment, and yes, there is some investment, but you can start small. And there we were raising our 4th round of meat birds. Well, for the 4th year, I guess we've raised several rounds. And then we have our own chicken. So Rob was cutting up some chicken breasts there. And then we make bone broth from the carcass. And here he is getting ready to can some of our green beans. The green beans come in all at once, and you have to get to preserving them, harvesting them and preserving them. And we had quite the abundance of green beans this year, which I love green beans, so that was awesome. So before this, we were not really, we had a veggie garden, I guess, for a couple of years. And that was about the extent of raising our own food. And, we weren't canning. We had never canned anything until 2020. And we got the ball canning jar, and Rob taught himself, walked himself through the steps in the book. And we watched some YouTube videos, and we just went for it. And I think we canned green beans for our very first time canning. And we're still here 4 years later. So that was a success. But like I said previously, once you get into this lifestyle of growing things for yourself, it just, I feel like it bleeds into every area of your life, and you start wanting to do more of everything for yourself, which sometimes costs more and takes more time and is definitely the harder route, especially in this day and age when everything is right there and you can just go to the store and buy it, and it may even be cheaper. Like these berries here, it took quite a long time to go harvest these black raspberries and get them prepped and ready to do some freezer jam, but it is well worth it. Yes, you can go buy jam from the store, but it's not going to taste anything like this homemade jam, which is really simple and only has a couple of ingredients, and the berries are wild. One thing that I have learned is that if you can steer clear of being dogmatic about never eating anything that you haven't grown or preserved yourself, then this lifestyle can be easy and fulfilling and joyful because you don't have to only eat what you've made. If you can, here we've got, I think, some zucchini that we didn't grow, but the green beans we did, and the potatoes we didn't. But then this is our pork. So we have a plate that's a mixture. And yes, it's always really awesome when you have a plate full of things that you've raised and grown on your farm, but it's not always like that. And if you can stay balanced and just enjoy the seasonality of this lifestyle, then you'll fall in love and take it a step further or walk a step back when you need to, depending on where you are in your life. Thanks for following along, guys. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to support us. Thanks.